No, it's not going to go that far. Never mind.
What do you need, sorry?
The round speaker,
This here?
how far can that stretch? That's it. Okay, just leave it there.
I'm gonna keep it
Thank you.
where I am.
That's fine. Yep.
What are you trying to do with it?
Well, I try to get it as close to the middle of the dais so that
Cody, when we're done.
it can,
No,
it's an
no,
extra
when it-
microphone so the people online can hear better.
Just tell us.
That's fine.
Well, Lord knows
You'll
they'll
know.
hear me
It should
without
be
the
done.
microphone, so probably the worst seat for me to have. It's this right here.
Cody,
You gotta tell us where to move it.
just like right in the middle.
Oh, you want to move it?
Yeah, well, after Layla's done.
We get the strong guys like Paul Costco. Jerry, get Jerry. Leela's pretty tough.
Okay. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. The meeting of April 13, 2021, with instructions for internet access, was included in a meeting notice sent to the Verona County Times and the Courier Post on January 6, 2021, and advertised in said newspapers on January 8, 2021, and January 9, 2021. Respectively, posted on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building on January 9th, 2021, and has remained continuously posted as required under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public. It is posted on the main doors the Friday before the meeting and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Mrs. Costco?
Far away. I got it. Oh, thank you. That was not me. The public may, let me see here. The public may electronically submit questions or comments. Wait a minute, I'm so sorry. Make sure this is the right. I don't think that's my normal message. Do you have it? Okay, I have it. That's it. May submit questions or comments to pcosco@hainsporttownship.com or in written letter form to the clerk's office at the municipal building. You may also drop it off in the tax payment drop box as well, no later than 4 p.m. the Monday prior to the committee meeting. Name, address, and phone or email must be included. Previously submitted questions or public comments shall be read aloud and addressed during the public meeting. Duplicated written questions or comments may be summarized and shall be done consistently. To eliminate background noise so that all meeting participants can hear, please mute your microphone and remain in listening mode only. I will place all remote attendees on this platform on mute as well. During public comment periods, I will unmute all remote participants. If you do not have a question or comment, please manually remute your microphone. I will manage the remote users for public comments. All remote users must state their name and address at the beginning of his or her public comment. Should a member of the public that is using the GoToMeeting platform become disruptive, that person will be kept on mute and warned that continued disruption may result in being prevented from speaking or removed from the remote meeting. If time permits, the disruptive individual shall be allowed to speak after all other members of the public have been given their opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Okay, we now rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Mayor Gilmore,
Here.
Mr. McLaughlin. Here. Mr. Levinson,
Here.
Mr. Klaus,
Here.
Mr. Montgomery.
Present.
Minutes. I need an approval of the regular committee minutes of March 16th, 2021.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mr. Klaus.
Yes.
Mr. Levinson,
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin. Yes. Mayor Gilmore.
Yes. Reports. We have the tax collector's report, code enforcement, fire official, construction, emergency services reports, all ending March 2021. I have a motion to accept.
Motion to accept?
And a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Levinson,
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet, boys.
Do her thing.
Okay. All right, let me know when.
Okay.
So this evening, we have with us a young man, Zachary Ross, who, with an extraordinary act of kindness, is going to receive, for what he's done, he's going to receive a proclamation. Zachary, you'd like to meet me up in the front? You'll stand over here. So whereas the Hainesport Township wishes to recognize the kindness and generosity of one of our residents, 11-year-old Zachary Ross, and whereas Zachary's family entered the Hainesport Holiday House Decorating Contest in December of 2020, and whereas while decorating, Zachary told his parents that he would like to donate their prize money to charity if they won. And whereas the Ross family won first prize of $75, they contacted the Hainesport Recreation Department to find out how to donate the prize money for a family in need. All the gift cards were purchased and donated to a local food pantry. And whereas Zachary and his family also contributed food to the Hainesport Cans of Hope to honor Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now and therefore be it resolved that the Hainesport Township Committee of the Township of Hainesport asks all our residents to join us in proudly honoring and celebrating Zachary for his thoughtfulness towards others and to wish him the very best of luck in future endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Zachary.
Yep, we'll get it now. Okay.
Now you're up.
Now we can do it. You wanna grab that?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good job, Zachary. You're welcome.
So this on, okay? Is it automatic?
As soon as that gets plugged in,
Are you gonna plug it
we'll be
in?
ready to go.
That was very nice. Very nice. What's that? That was very nice. Good move.
I think it's on.
Yeah, I think it's on.
So now we get ready for the second highlight of this evening, our budget presentation.
Yes.
Mrs.
1
Costco.
second. Move over.
Ooh,
Okay, let me just minimize this so I can see. Nope, wrong one. There we go. All right. So to go over our 2021 budget, I believe Donna is, our CFO is online if there's any questions for her. I also want to acknowledge Bob Nahila, our auditor. He is here as well. If anybody has any questions of him, pretty much going to go through the same format as we did last year. I'll go through the presentation, and then Bob, if you want to jump in at any point too, feel free. All right. So the 2021 budget utilizes a little over 1.2 million, or 27% of Hainsport's total surplus. It's a little bit more than last year. However, the balance of the surplus continues to remain healthy. There is still ample surplus for future years. The 2021 budget is under both the state appropriation spending cap and the state tax levy cap. The 21 budget increases the local purpose tax rate by 0.00 cents. So last year, our tax rate was 0.325, and this year it is 0.332, and that is for the local. The increase
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm looking for Paula Costa.
She's
Costco, right?
on-
She's speaking right now.
She's speaking right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll be right here, ma'am.
Okay, I'll come around when I'm done. Thank you.
What is that?
I'll get
We
over.
have a disturbance in
We
the
have an
park.
issue that we were dealing with.
There is?
There was.
Something minor. The increase from last year's budget to the amount to be raised by taxes this year is about $62,000. So that is our increase for this year. So the 2021 amount to be raised by taxes is a little over 2.5 million. So the average home assessed at 278,857 would see an increase in municipal taxes of $19.71 for the year, or $4.93 for the quarter, or $1.64 per month. So that's 22 cents more a month than last year. So some of our capital project goals include the municipal park playground renovation, which we've discussed quite frequently this year. We are supplementing the grant funds that we have with a little over $200,000 in the capital and open space funds. It also includes $180,000 for a new brush truck. And it includes, in addition to the fire company's annual allocation of $90,000, it also includes an additional, I think it's $12,500 for 4 new Scott Air Packs, and you're going to see that every year. They do need to be replaced, and they have a great plan in place to replace those incrementally over the next several years. It also includes this meeting room and our hallways. We want to get the carpet replaced, and we've been working on that for the past month and getting some quotes. It includes Edwin Street and Bancroft Lane storm pipelining. So the Bancroft Lane storm pipelining is in addition to the DOT grants that we received, the $500,000 grants. This is just in case the cost for this lining exceeds that amount. And then the Edwin Street pipe is failing. We've had 2 failures over the course of the last 2 years, and so we do need to remediate that problem. It also includes the Arc Road resurfacing project. We received another $180,000 DOT grant. That will be hitting our special engineers sometime in the next 2 weeks to get their proposals on doing the engineering work so we can get that project rolling out. It also dedicates $500,000 to the 2022 municipal funded road improvement program. So the breakdown of the current fund budget includes operating expenses, a little over $2.4 million. Our salary and wages is significantly less than that at $721,000. Capital improvements, $960,000. Our debt and deferred payments, $441,000, and our RUT, reserve for uncollected taxes, at almost $290,000. So our total operating budget is a little over $4.8 million, but that includes that reserve for uncollected taxes. So less our anticipated revenues, the amount to be raised is again a little over $2.2 million. I'm sorry, $2.5 million as our levy. So our 21 property tax levy and rate. So we're able to express to the community what our portion is. Unfortunately, we don't know where the county's at, where the regional school district is at, or our local school district. We can only at this point speak for the municipal levy and our open space tax, which is pretty consistent from year to year at $231,000. So this kind of gets a little bit more into the weeds in terms of what our salary and wages and other expenses look like. So you can see over the past 4 years where we've been. So we're in essence lower than we were in 2018, but a little bit more than what we were in 2019 and 20. Operations continued. So I pretty much just cut and paste the information from the actual budget document for this part. It shows you what our statutory expenditures are. They're consistent from last year. The only increase we have is our PERS contribution, which is $8,000 more than last year. So these are things that we don't have control over. So that's the only increase in our statutory expenditures. So our general operations, these are items that are not subject to the caps law. Again, pretty consistent, a little bit less than last year. And then our capital projects, and I believe there's an error here for the fire safety equipment. I think that needs to be 12,500, not 22,500.
I'm sorry, where is that, Paul? I'm sorry.
Acquisition of fire safety equipment under 2021. It's highlighted here, 22,500. That's supposed to be 12,500.
Acquisition of, how many lines? I'm
Fire
sorry.
equipment, oh,
Fire safety equipment right here.
6 down, under 2021,
So instead of 22.5, it should be
12,500.
12.5. Gotcha.
960 under capital? I don't think so. No. Okay. 960 is our capital.
Edits are always better to be lower than higher, so
Right.
we can deal with that.
You added those up that quick? Okay. So then maybe it is supposed to be 22.5. And there's our municipal debt and deferred charges. Payment of our bond principal, $221,000. Interest on bonds and notes. So the total municipal debt service payment, $291,750. And I believe this is our last payment, I could be wrong, on the sewer system. So here, Bob, you make these estimations, correct? For the school? Okay,
We estimate what the school would be, they're just estimates.
at this point.
We try to estimate how.
Okay. So this is what it could potentially look like for our appropriation, as well as all of the other taxes, the regional, the school, the county. So the total amount to be raised for 2021, including all of those taxes, $19,832,670. Obviously, that is subject to change, with the exception if you approve the municipal part, that is what the budget would be for the municipality. 4.8, a little over 4.8 million. And then the amount, again, to be raised would be a little over 2.5 million for the local purpose tax. Again, it's just another way to break down what I explained previously. And then this is just a snapshot of last year's charts, just to kind of give you an idea of what it will look like when we have all of the numbers. And I do post these on the municipal website. We also post them here at the Township building, so the residents can see virtually where all of their tax dollars go. And then we have it broken down here
Okay.
by percentages. Yes?
Yep, you just answered my
Okay.
question.
So the municipal levy from 2020 was responsible for 13% of the residents' taxes, municipal open space 1%, local school districts, so the Hainesport School 48%, the regional school district at 20%, and the county levy, which also includes the county's library tax, is at 18%.
The county levy includes the library.
I think and the open space, library and open space.
Okay.
And there's Bob's $100 bill that we love. So it's just a different way to see it, the allocation. And then there's your rates from last year. And that's pretty much my presentation.
You know, it's just interesting just to point out that before I started attending these meetings and looking at these things a little more in depth, which I'm willing to bet a lot of people don't do, because I didn't until I started getting more involved. And then, of course, being here is the percentage of what, as residents, what we pay goes towards the schools. And I'm not complaining about that. I think Hainesport School is just fantastic. I've had 4 children that have been through there, and in a couple months, I'll have had 4 people through Rancocas Valley, and I think they're fantastic as well. So really super. But it's just good to point out, because I know a number of times people come here and they complain about their taxes and those types of things, is that, well, you got to talk to the schools and other types of things, because we're obviously 13% of that whole thing. But again, not complaining, because the schools are just very, very important to our community, to our children, everything that makes Hainesport a great town. So
Yeah.
just want to point that out.
And if I may just also add, I believe Donna's on, but she did provide a memo to everyone with the highlights as well. I guess, the budget calls for a very modest increase of, again, less than 2%, translating to $17 to the average taxpayer. So in addition, our solid waste did increase this year significantly. We go back out to bid. That is not just for Hainesport residents, it's all across the state. We are very fortunate here in Burlington County that we're not responsible for recycling, because a lot of municipalities and a lot of other counties are responsible for not just their solid waste removal, but also recycling. So the cost is just astronomical. So there's a $20,000 increase just to that alone. We also have an increase in hours for our fire official. There's also an increase because of our 19 road program and our grant receivables. So that kind of shows a false increase, because we do receive that money back. And you guys will do resolutions as that money comes in to add those to the budget. And in terms of the American Rescue Plan funds, we have been directed to not include any of that as of yet in our budget for this year. We have not received either tranche of that money. So it will go in when we receive the first 50%. And we do have some great projects lined up for that, some ideas that we have that we will present to you.
And that's expected in June, right?
You think so? I'm not too sure.
I think so.
The county will be distributing that
Yes.
to us, so.
Okay.
And then we have till 2024, I believe,
To spend it.
to spend all of that.
So, Bob, did you have anything to add?
Did you hear me?
I think it should come up, please.
Yeah, like I said before, I worked with your CFO, Donna, to develop the budget, and Paula. The 2 things I want to point out is when I get involved with the budget, I'm focused on, okay, is it in compliance with state statute, and are you under your tax levy cap, and are you under your appropriation cap? What Paula put up there before gave the minimums that you're under. That didn't even take into consideration all you have these cap banks. If you don't use them one year, they carry over to the next. So realistically, you could have increased your taxes to the residents another $827,000. You would have been fully under the law by doing that. You chose not to. And you could have increased your spending the maximum would have been almost $300,000. You held it back, and you choose not to do that too. So you're well under your 2 caps. I just wanted to point that out as well.
Thank you for explaining that, because
Yeah.
I still have a hard time wrapping my head around both of those
That's
caps. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
no, that's
Every
real,
year you
that's
take
real
that
important.
course.
Yeah. Want to make sure we have that in the minutes correctly. Get those numbers down.
Okay. All right. So now we're open for comments from the public for agenda items only. Any comments? None in the room, any online?
No?
Okay. Closed comments. Ordinances.
Let me,
You want to
I'm
do
going
that?
to go in there real quick to just address.
Oh,
that.
okay.
Feel free to.
I'll do the ordinance. Ordinance 2021-4, amending Chapter 180, entitled Vehicles and Parking to establish a restricted parking zone in front of a residence. This is public hearing and final adoption. Anyone care to make a comment with regards to the changing of a handicap zone? Nothing online?
Seems to be pretty easy.
Not seeing any. Can I have a motion and
So moved?
Second?
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
yes? So we have some consent agenda resolutions. I know I need to add a resolution. I need a motion to add a resolution.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
It's a resolution approving a block party.
Mayor Gilmore, I believe we were also going to be taking one off.
That's what are we removing? Okay, so the motion is to add resolutions.
Well, first we need to make a motion to amend.
Okay.
Maybe doing two things, so which one's coming off?
I believe number 63
2021-63-4?
about Lake Avenue, is that coming off?
Yeah, that is, so.
Okay.
We'll hold that number, right, we'll hold that number, so let's do this. So this new one will be 2021-64-4? Right?
No, the new one will be
65.
69 because the budget ones are already numbered up. So this is going to be 69 for the new one and 63 will be removed.
So-
It's on the agenda, why don't we do this, before adding, a motion to table 2021-63-4 would be in order.
Okay. So can I have a motion to remove?
Yeah,
Second?
Mr. McLaughlin?
yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes.
Now, a motion to add 2021-69-4, authorizing the block party to the consent agenda would be in order.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second?
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes.
Now, a motion to adopt the consent agenda with the 5 resolutions.
Okay, so can we have a motion
I'll
to?
make that motion.
I second it.
It's all gotta be legal.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So now, can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda, resolutions 2021-59-4, 60-4, 61-4, 62-4, and 69-4?
So moved.
I second.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Okay, so now we come to the budget resolutions. First resolution, 2021-64-4, authorizes self-examination of the 2021 budget.
So moved.
I second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So now we have Resolution 2021-65-4, which authorizes the 2021 budget to be read by title only.
So moved.
I second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So now we're open for a public hearing on the 2021 budget. Do you have any comments in regards to the budget?
We do this one
Online?
online.
Nothing?
Does the caller online have any comments on the budget? I think that might be Donna.
Nope. Seeing none, I call for Resolution 2021-66-4 to adopt the budget.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. We have several business licenses to approve. Need a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion, we approve the business licenses. We used to state that their taxes were paid in the old days. Are they paid?
They wouldn't be on here if they weren't.
Used to be. They used to be on there, and they weren't paid.
Well, they're checked rather closely. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So now we're open for comments from the public. This is about anything? Yes. Miss Anna. Mrs. Evans.
Hello, Anna Evans, 63 Perry Drive. I just wanted to announce that I'm honoured to be running for Hainsport Township Committee this year under the Democratic Party banner.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I know and respect Jerry Klaus, who is my opponent. We've spoken. We have agreed that the campaign will be run in a very civil way with lots of respect on only the issues. And looking forward to a great campaign season. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck. Anyone else? Online? Nope, no hands. Okay, we'll close the public comments. Comments from the administrator.
All I have really is just to let you know that the Bancroft Lane project, I expect that to kick off within the next month. So all the residents will receive notifications by the contractor Arawak Paving. To do that, they did complete the storm pipe lining. That was done, I believe, last week, so we should be getting a report on that soon.
Good. Do they have an estimated time that it's going to take for the paving?
I probably 1 or 2 weeks. I think the most work is the concrete work.
Right.
The concrete, the curbing, the ADA upgrades. I believe there may be a couple new traffic calming measures that will need to be installed. So I'm 1 to 2 weeks at most.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Our solicitor, Mr. Gillespie.
I have nothing. Good to see y'all.
Well, I hope you have more to say next month. Comments from the committee, Mr. Levinson?
Yeah, I have actually two things. As a member of the Environmental Committee, it's my responsibility to ask everyone to buy native plants if they're going to be planting. Our native creatures have evolved with these plants for millions of years, so one kind of supports the other. When you buy a non-native plant, an exotic, so to speak, you're buying something that all the critters that live in our local environment aren't used to. So there's really no symbiotic relationship that takes place there. One does not necessarily support the other. So if you buy native plants, you're supporting our native creatures, and when you do that, we actually support us all. So please buy native plants.
I have a question for you, my
Yes, sir.
friend. So it looks like there's like a bamboo forest in
Yes,
our
and
town. I'm
non-
assuming that is not a native,
Non-native invasive plant?
and that is very invasive.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Actually, it would be best if that were removed, and I'm hoping that as we develop our Creek Turn pottery area, we'll replant that area with native plants.
Just curious, just,
Not totally invasive.
thank you.
You're welcome, sir. The other issue is, let's not forget, May 1st, we're planning the honor tree. The honor tree will be basically a thank you to all those essential workers who have, and I'm kind of quoting off of the plaque that we have, who have risked their lives and also the health of their families working during this pandemic. And it will also honor those people who have passed. So that will take place at 11 o'clock on May 1st, which is a Saturday. We have an unenviable position of competing with Hainsport's yard sale, so to speak. So if anybody can do both, we'd certainly appreciate seeing you there at the front of our municipal building for the dedication of the tree and the flag.
Yard sales are early. You got to get there early at the yard sale, so 11 o'clock, you come by, you
That's what I'm hoping.
see it, grab something to eat,
Yeah,
go back and get the big sales that are left at the
So
end.
we'll see you there, Ken.
Yeah, yeah. I will do my best, sir.
Thank you.
I'm an
And always back.
environmentalist like yourself, an old Boy Scout, so, yes.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Mr. McLaughlin.
Saturdays are
It is.
trash day,
Cleanup day.
recycling day.
Mhm.
I plan on being there to help unload.
Oh, thank
Invite
God.
any other committee members to join me in unloading people's cars to keep the traffic moving. I did miss the last one, but I was at the one in the fall. It's amazing all the neat
But you
things
were missed.
that you get, yeah. I'm a worker.
And this is no shredding. Shredding is not available, but I know it is offered at the county in Mansfield Township. Just trying to think of what that date is. I'm sorry I don't have that, but I utilized that. It was so easy. It was so easy. You pull up your trunk, they open your trunk, they take it all. It was just so easy. So take advantage of the shredding at the county. I think there's 2 more dates.
Okay, can I keep going?
Yep.
Okay.
Just trying to point out the shredding issue
All right,
here.
thank
So,
you. So I'd like to congratulate Jerry as chair of the party. It was my pleasure to nominate you, and you won the vote for our candidate for committee, and I'm sure you'll do a good job if the voters choose you to serve again, and appreciate all that. The county committee positions were all filled. And they're on the ballot, if I may, and I guess we'll have one more meeting before that vote comes out. So hopefully I'll see everybody Saturday.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Bruce, and thank you, Anna, for being I don't even like calling you an opponent. I appreciate it. I do want to say one thing, and it's kind of about me. I received my second shot, and I was a little apprehensive about getting the shot. I really didn't feel good, but you know what? It was worth it, because now I'm 2 weeks to the day, and you can travel, you can do everything once you get your second shot. So I would encourage anybody to get the shots. There's some news about the J&J, just get the other one, and it's not that bad to get scheduled to do it. And I think in the long run, you're better off. So, thank you.
Okay.
I contributed already, so thank you.
You sure? Well, I just want to bring some people up to date and with regards to things in the community. March 19th, I attended a ribbon cutting ceremony for Mobile One Cav MAGA with Bruce Levinson and Mr. Montgomery, Ken Montgomery. It was a wonderful experience, and we welcomed them to the community. And they're going to participate in the Mayor's Wellness Campaign also. So they're a great addition to the community. On March 27th, the Easter Bunny event came and was very well attended, approximately 200 people. He arrived by fire truck and was accompanied by several other rescue vehicles, along with the new 100th anniversary state police car. You'll see them around town every so often. They're the black and whites with the old-fashioned light on the top and the middle. So that was very nice for the kids to be able to take advantage of seeing that also. April 16th, Friday, is story time at the community center for 2.5 to 5-year-olds. They tell stories, activities, and crafts. April 17th, this is Saturday, is the cleanup day. And then Monday morning, we're still walking with the mayor, 9 o'clock, here at the Township Park. We meet at the Pavilion. April 24th, from noon to 1, is an introduction to Tai Chi at the Pavilion by Chi Kung Tai Chi Karate. They're a Hainesport business on 38, and they'll be giving a free lesson as part of the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. So everyone's invited to come out. It's especially targeted for adults, seniors. On April 25th, next day, I'll be walking in Sage Run along with Mr. Montgomery and hopefully some other residents of the area. We'll meet at the Village Green, and that will be at 3 o'clock. Looking forward to seeing everybody in that area of town.
Pray for sunshine.
Yes, let's, because I heard snow on Friday or something. That's what I thought.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is the last week to send in your information with regards to the Veterans Memorial banners. So they did stretch it another couple of days, Mr. Montgomery.
Good.
One of the things I wanted to talk to the group about is the fact that I'd like to ask Paula to assign someone to research the development of a Hainesport Township app, something that we could all put on our phones that would be used for informing the residents of community news, local events, real-time notifications of storms, road work. Businesses could also utilize it to notify the residents of specials just for Hainesport residents, et cetera. I think it would be easier to use than the website. People of Hainesport would be able to download it. I know they're out there and available, hoping that funds from the American Rescue Plan funding could be used for. So if anybody has any objections to, I just think it's a tool that we can use to upgrade us into the new generation. They could know when the fields were available, they could know when flooding on the street closures, that type of thing. And the other thing is, next month, I think we should look to put a discussion with regards to the new cannabis law on the agenda. I think we're running close on time.
Absolutely. If I may add, if I may suggest maybe doing an outreach to the community and
Okay.
invite them to come to the meeting, email us, call us, and give us their input on it.
Right.
I shared with all of you the numbers, the percentage of voters
Right.
in Hainesport who,
And it's a significant number.
which, yes,
Will Scott be at that meeting as well?
we can certainly ask him to be there. I know that you did task him with,
Bruce wanted to inquire about the different licenses, what kind of space is required, what kind of issues that we could anticipate, and I should let Bruce actually talk about the rest of it, but all those were great ideas, and he should be around, so maybe we can get some of those answers. Bruce, did you want to add something to that?
Well, you're gonna look for some formal action to be taken?
No, I just think, I'm putting it there that I think it's something that
We're
it's
running out
time
of
to,
time,
we're
right?
running out of time. And if we do, we'll be, so to say, stuck with,
Okay.
well, you can certainly do what a lot of municipalities are doing. They're adopting an ordinance to completely opt out, so they have ample time to make decisions. There's a poll going around, there's a significant amount of municipalities who are opting out. Don't know why, but they're just opting out right now. And as for us, for you, you have at the latest, if you want to move forward on making a formal decision, you would have to do that July introduce, August adopt, at the latest.
Has Scott started some sort of a potential search for space,
I don't
land?
know the answer to that, but I can find out.
Because the other thing is
time to
also,
reach out. It's time to get the ball moving.
the other thing is we're limited on the number of different things. There's only so many wholesale space available and so many retail spots for each municipality, correct? Or the state is saying that. So, the sooner we get into it, it may help us. So
Well, I meant to attend the first meeting of the Cannabis Commission, which was yesterday at 2 o'clock. I had it up and it completely,
Well, I
didn't
don't know
attend.
that,
And
I
I
think
meant
they
it was
were,
their first meeting. so.
yeah, they were doing a lot of it in closed session, I believe.
I mean, we're at a disadvantage because we're a small town with very limited space, but hopefully we can get Scott to do some sort of a survey. I mean,
But we've already been
The land
approached by
analysis.
different,
yeah.
yeah,
But I
so,
don't know if they're a fit, where they want to go. I mean,
right. It's time to find out.
Yeah.
It's time to talk, and it's not something that we can discuss in executive session, so we need to do it in this forum.
It's not a closed session discussion, and it is the discussion, even without knowing exactly where you would put it, the question is, do you want to put it somewhere?
Right.
So before you get to identifying what areas could we do it in, do we want to do it in? And, you know, I think one of the reasons that so many municipalities are simply opting out is that the legislature's had 4 years to screw around with this, right? Municipalities have been forced to sit on the sidelines and wait for the legislature to do something, because a municipality can only exercise the powers delegated to it by the legislature. So the legislature, and it's, once again, it's infinite wisdom, says, okay, you have 6 months to make a call, even though they've had 3 to 4 years to think about it themselves. So you're given 6 months, which is a lot of towns, you know, and look, towns, and I think I commend you for the idea of a survey. I commend you for the memo Paula sent today with regard to what the vote count was on that referendum. But many towns are just not sure where they want to go with it yet, and are afraid that 6 months isn't going to give them enough time, and they don't want to miss the opportunity to get out first, think about it, and then come back in. There are towns that are comfortable with the idea, and they're going to go ahead and make their decisions within the 6 months, right? But, you know, as a municipal attorney and as someone who represents towns, I just gave a 50-minute speech today. The legislature just shoves stuff down your throats, right? They take forever to figure out what they want to do, and then they kick it to you and give you a very short period of time to make your decision on behalf of the people who are most affected, right?
Right.
So I think the idea of having a discussion about it at your next meeting is well placed.
So I have a question, Leila. You say we were approached at what level? Was it at cultivation, manufacturing, distribution,
Yes.
wholesaling, retailing, or?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
So,
yes,
is it-
There,
yes.
So was it all levels? So somebody is assuming that we have.
more
6.
than one time we've been
So
approached.
definitely, I can affirm one at manufacturing level, probably 5 or 6 at the retail level.
So the other question was, and somebody brought this up last time, is when you are in manufacturing, when you're in cultivation, can you actually be vertically oriented and do all the levels, all the license effectively, right down from the manufacturing to the retailer? Can you hold all those licenses, basically just being monopoly effectively,
So-
telling every other person out?
I don't know,
State
I
issues the
believe the answer to
licenses.
that's at the state level.
Okay.
You have the ability to determine if you want all or none. So, but a business can virtually have a license for all of them and not necessarily operate in the same location.
But again, and I don't know if this is gonna work like a used car license, but as you guys know, you have to be zoned for a used car facility to apply in the municipality, to apply for a used car license at the state level. So, you know, the municipality has to agree that it's okay for you to operate your business there, and you have to be zoned, you know, used car for that area. So I'm pretty sure, and John, you're the expert, that it's gonna work something like that. So we have to make a decision first, if it's whatever license it is that we wanted in that location.
Yeah, and I just wrote that down, and I think it's a great question in terms of the verticality.
There you go, new word.
So I will look into that.
Thank you.
That's a great question, because if you remember, we did have a presentation by someone 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And I think that at that point, you couldn't, or no, you had to get your license. You had to operate all of them in order for it to, I think, that's a great question, because that was presented at the state level at that time. Obviously, it's, you have a formal bill now in place for it. But I believe my point is that the permitting was for all.
So, just to pose a question, so it's really highly unlikely that we'll arrive at properties that we can zone for whatever by the deadline. I mean, again, I'm not saying it what is, but just thinking. So John, do we just have to agree what do we have to opt out of, if you will?
Let's suppose that at the time, I think it's by July, right, because August is the deadline. So let's just pretend that by July, just not sure what you want to do, or sure that you want to do something, just not sure where. Right? But you've had these discussions for the past few months at that point. And you've made the effort to get some, I don't want to say consensus, but some idea of what the community wants. If you're not ready, you can opt out of whatever you're not ready to opt into to do yet. But you would continue those discussions so that you might be on the cusp, for example, of making a decision, but not there yet.
But a decision on what, to accept?
Whichever one.
Any of them.
Any of them.
What,
You
I don't-
just have
You may opt
to
out of all of them
decide
because you're not
of the
ready on any of
6
them.
things
that we'll
that we
agree to
wanted.
approve
Not
6?
that it has to be in this place, that place, or the other.
Right.
We'll have time
Just in a
to
particular
decide
zone.
where
So
the
we can
zoning-
agree to accept
An
the
industrial.
possibility of the 6
Correct.
licenses. That's what we can opt
I
into.
think that's the discussion that you should start next
Right.
month, is what is it? And maybe it's easier to go by exclusion than inclusion. What don't you want, right? Maybe that's the easiest thing. I don't know. That's a policy call.
I'm leaning in that direction first. I think that may be easier. And my discussions with some of the residents, I've gotten they've been really all over the place with the thoughts.
And by exclusion, whatever remains may be then easier to wrestle with in terms of what you're going to do with it, right? Because you've limited the scope of discussion. But again, you'll kick that around next month. I mean, I think it's very
Right.
worthwhile.
So yes, I think we should put it out to the public and invite.
So, and I would recommend that anybody who has an interest in this, read what's taking place in Colorado, the benefits as well as the negatives. I've been reading some of the articles, are pretty interesting. Certainly is a big moneymaker for the state, possibly for the towns. There are some small, well, depends, I guess, where you fall, but there are some issues with it. But if you read those articles, it'll help all of us make decisions on what we're willing to accept. It's going to happen. The question is, at what level will it happen?
Bruce, how long has Colorado had it? It's been a couple of years they've
I
had
think
it.
it's been between 5 and 7 years.
Is it really that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they don't call it the Mile High City for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's,
If I may,
But I think this is strictly for us and the community. I don't think we should invite
no,
Businesses or potential vendors.
potential, yes, I don't think that needs
it's
to.
not the right topic.
No.
So if I may, just the first 5 minutes, do a quick presentation on the subject again, because I scanned some of the comments on different social media, that there are actually people who don't even realize that it's legal now. They don't even realize that
Right.
it's, to
Right.
criminalize, it's
And yet there's
legal
others
for
that think they can
recreational
go
use.
out
People
and
don't realize that.
smoke it in the street now.
So
So-
I think we should do a quick 5-minute tutorial
Yes.
again on it. I will try to make it brief. Scott will be here so he can add to it, and then
And there might even be another webinar between now and next month, or Zoom meeting with regards to it.
and I don't want to be in the paper that Hainsport's on the front line of this whole thing.
No.
We're out front, we're like the leader in them.
No,
But if it
but
fits somewhere, there's a location for each kind of license. I know, and I understand what John's saying, and that's probably gonna be very tough to arrive at that. So with little input from the community, I mean, with a lot of input from the community and some, our input.
Our professional.
See if it's something, yeah, I mean,
plus too, maybe in another month, the committee will have made some kind of guidelines
Sure.
also. That's the other thing, or
the cannabis, the state
Yeah.
cannabis commission.
so, we'll keep an eye on that. I'm sure the league is keeping an eye on that, so. The more information we have,
So-
the more informed a decision we can make.
next meeting,
We're going to talk about it, yes.
So we'll put it on the agenda as a presentation, and then open it up for comments.
Okay.
Do we need certain extra time for this?
Do we need?
No.
THC used to be
Might be Pandora's box here, I don't know. I mean, I think we need to do it. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't, we have to do it. I mean, I think it's a good idea to do it, yeah. Sure. I mean,
Right, I think it's
Yeah.
time to talk out loud and in front of everybody. Okay, so that being the end of the comments, we have some bills to pay.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills.
I second the payment of the bills.
Thank you.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So this evening, we have a executive session that's still on. Okay, so,
We would expect, we're just talking about, we would expect that the closed session might last 20 minutes. Informal action may be taken when the governing body returns.
okay. So with that, I am asking for a motion to enter into executive session, Resolution 2021-67-4.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. Okay. So
Are
we'll,
we gonna have it here?
5-minute.
Here, right?
Kara, can you turn the lights on in the, when you're, yeah, somebody just came in, so. Walked down the hallway.
It is.
I know, I can disconnect now.
We stand.
Yeah.
That's not a good. That's not good.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion, we go back in open session.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so coming forth with resolution, do I need to add to the agenda?
Yes, 2021 would say 68-4?
Yes.
Correct. So I need a motion to add resolution?
I'd like to add Resolution 2021-6804 to the agenda.
I'll second that.
Committeeman Montgomery?
Yes.
Committeeman Levinson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Committeeman Klaus?
Yes.
And Mayor Gilmore?
Yes.
And so if you're inclined, this would be Resolution 2021-70-4, which determines that there is an existing housing need for a project such as the one described herein, which is 70-unit senior affordable housing.
68.
Yeah.
68, I'm sorry.
68-4, right.
So,
I said the right one, didn't I?
yes.
You did, I didn't.
Come on, John.
So I need a motion to approve and second resolution 2021-68-4.
So moved.
I second that.
Committeeman Montgomery?
Yes.
Committeeman Levinson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Committeeman Klaus?
Yes.
And Mayor Gilmore?
Yes. So if that's it, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. That will come up.
Good deal. Be out before 9. Time for dinner.
My daughter's already up. Katie is so